Welcome everyone to my home. Thank you for coming. We are going to be discussing Holocaust and there's the survivors. I've invited a couple of people that I knew had family members who survived the Holocaust. And I'm going to be recording this to use for other discussion groups. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, introduce yourself and tell us who your family member is.
Well, my name's Adam Radowski, and my grandfather, Dave Radowski, is a Holocaust survivor, and he was born in Poland in 1924.
Okay, thank you, Adam. Tell us a little bit about his family.
Well, he had a father, mother, and 4 brothers and 2 sisters.
Okay, and the family life before the Nazis invaded Poland? What was that like?
His father was a barber, and his mother was a stay-at-home mom, and his brothers and sisters went to school, just like any other kid.
And I assume that they all helped out in the shop and at home. How did their life change after the Nazis came?
Well, his family was taken to various camps, and his mother and father and a sister were taken to a camp and gassed to death.
And what happened to the rest?
Well, he was sent to Auschwitz, where he was branded with the number 141935, and the rest of his family he doesn't have contact with and doesn't know if they survived or not.
Okay, so as far as he knows, they're all dead. He was never able to locate them?
Yeah.
Okay. So, after he was branded, did he just stay at Auschwitz, or what happened to him then?
He was taken to Jaworzno, and
Well, wait a second. What kind of camps, what did they do at these camps?
Well, he worked in coal mines and paper factories.
Okay.
And I'm not sure which camps that those were, but I know he did.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You said he went to Jaworzno. What happened there?
The Germans knew that the war was getting closer, so they got all the prisoners together, and they walked days and nights to a different camp farther away, and they had to rest along the way, and when they woke up to a foot of snow on them.
Well, then I would assume that if they probably didn't have winter coats and things on, and being covered with a foot of snow, they probably had a pretty bad case of frostbite, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Okay. So then what happened after that?
He was sent to Dachau, where he was loaded on electric train cars and sent to the mountains to be shot to death. But the electric wouldn't. Let
me interrupt you again. I'm sorry. And when they were marching from the camp all day and all night, if I remember right, I think they called that the
Death March.
Death March, yeah, that's right. Okay, so they were loaded in cattle cars and were going to be taken to the mountains to be killed. What happened?
Well, the electric went out, and the American soldiers came to free the prisoners.
And then, did they just get to go home? What happened after that?
Well, they were taken to displaced persons camps, which they didn't know if those were good camps or not. But when they were sent to them, they found out that they were good camps because they were clothed and fed in them.
So then, what happened to your grandfather after or while he was in the displaced camp?
Well, he met and fell in love with my grandmother, and once they got out of it, they needed to have a sponsor to get to America, so a church group in Michigan helped them get to America.
So they settled, that's how they got to America. They settled in Michigan. Okay, so then how was his life after Michigan? What did he do?
Well, he started a family, and ironically, he became a barber too.
Just like his father did?
Yeah.
Okay. So then did he just put the past behind him and move on and never look back? What happened?
Well, he said that it was always hard to forget about it. He said he'd wake up having nightmares and stuff, but he wants to remind all of us about the bad things that happened and treatment the poor people were put through, so it never happens again.
And every once in a while you'll see a story about a Nazi guard that they convicted. I think you told me in our telephone conversation that your father was a part of that.
And
or grandfather, I'm sorry.
He was taken Well, he was called up and asked if he could testify against an SS guard. And he went down there, and his wife wouldn't go with him because she just couldn't go back to Germany. And he testified against the SS guard, and he still didn't hear from whether he got put away or not. But he assumes they did.
Okay. So that kind of was like a vindication for him to go and testify against that guard and hopefully put him away
Yeah.
for what he had done to so many. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Do you want to add anything else to this? Was there anything we skipped over or anything?
Well, I think we covered everything.
Okay. Well, thank you, Adam. And I want to stop it right now so we can take a little break. Adam Brodowski. Thank you, Adam.